Guys, welcome. This is Jay Scott. I'm going to show you how to do a new score on the Hornscore app. I posted a video on my Instagram on Saturday, June 7th. So to do a new score, there's several ways you can do it, but go right down here to the bottom and hit new score. You can do harvest score or field judge. Here's all the different animals that you can do. I'm going to choose American elk. I'm going to call this Short Fronts Bull. You can name it anything you want. I'm going to select the default, and I think it's about a 310 bull. And next thing you do is add your media. So I'm going to add a photo and video. You can skip if you're looking at a bull and go directly to scoring, but I'm going to add photos and videos here. And I'm going to go right here to, I'm going to add, let's see, this video, and this video, add. So right now it's pulling these videos into the app from my media library. Okay, there they are. And now I'm going to choose a poster frame. So that's kind of cool. And actually, no, I'm going to go down here, get this bull to look up. Okay, I'm going to choose that as my frame. Okay, and then I'm going to start scoring. This is just a help menu that pops up. So welcome to the Hornscore calculator, guys. Across the bottom, you can see there's a left, right, and then your points, abnormals, mass, main beam, inside spread, your total score. Over here on the right, also in the upper right, you see that 310. That's gonna change every time I change a number. So let me go here to this third video, and I'm going to zoom in. Now you can do frame by frame here by hitting this plus or minus on the right. You see that? Or you can toggle on this bottom. First thing that jumps out at me is this bull is, a 6-year-old. It's got a hump on his back. He's got a pretty mature mane. He's got a little bit sunken hips. I'm going to say he's probably a 6-year-old bull. So, 6, maybe 7. He's definitely mature. I immediately see the weakness, though, in his fronts. I don't think his fronts are very long. And if you go down here to the bottom, the default numbers of a 310 bull have been added in here. So I'm actually going to start breaking down each one of these points. Before I do that, though, I'm going to go up here to the top right, and I'm going to click on anatomicals. And here's a bunch of different anatomical measurements that we have. And if you're curious, you want to look a little closer, you can zoom in to kind of get the exact anatomical here. And a couple to notice, I'm going to use this top one, ear to ear tip, when I'm going to do the inside spread. This is always a good one, the length of ear, 8 to 9 inches. One that we're going to pay particular close to is the front of eye to tip of nose at 12 to 13. And then this burr to tip of nose at 16 to 16 and a half. So, okay, so let's start breaking down these points. And if I look at the default, I don't think this bull's fronts meet up with the default, but I'm just going to start here on this left side. And I think the left P1, I think, is 10 inches. I think it's fairly short, so 10 inches. I think the left P2 is 11 inches, so I'm going to hit save here. If I look at the right P1 is a little bit longer. You notice here in this video that left P1 is very short, so I'm going to go with 11 inches. On the right P1, and I'm going to go with, it's a little bit shorter on that right side at 10 and 4. And then when I look at these P3s, zoom out a little bit here, they're definitely longer than the 1-2s. I see his ear there at 8 to 9 inches, and I think this bull's mature enough. I'll bet he's closer to a 9-inch ear. His thirds are definitely longer than that. I'm going to switch views here for just a second, and I'm going to look at that inside of eye to tip of nose at that 12 and 13, and I think that's more similar to the length of those thirds. So I'm going to click on the thirds box, enter 13, and I'm going to hit this middle button, same LR. That way it's the same value. You can see there's 13. Okay, and then I'm going to do the fourths next. I think the left 4 is a little bit longer. And if I look at it, I think it's probably an inch longer. I think that is probably 18 and 4. And I think the right one is just a little bit shorter at 17 and 4. And then if I look at the fifths here, I think that left fifth is a little bit longer at 12. Okay. And I think that right is just 1 inch shorter, so I'm going to say 11, not 111. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to look at his mass. Now, his mass, if we're doing all 4 mass measurements, you can see here M1, M2, M3, M4. 25 is light, 30 is heavy. Certainly bulls do get heavier than 30, but I think this bull's on the fairly light side. I think it's 27, and I think it's the same on both sides. And then the only thing I have to do next is just the main beams. I'm just going to check this video here, and when his head's down, notice that the tip of the beams barely break over the top of his back. And if you click on this anatomical, you can see that, it varies a little bit, but hump on shoulder down to front leg to bottom of hoof is 52 to 56. So when this bull's head's down, it just barely gets to the tip. So I think they're just under 50 inches. I think that right one is just a hair longer. So I'm going to click on 49 inches, and I think that left one is just a hair shorter at 48 and a half. And then all I have to do is the inside spread. So I'm going to go to this video for the inside spread. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So we know from this anatomical, we know that it's right here. Ear tip to ear tip is 21 to 22, although I think this bull is fairly mature. So I'm going to give him 22 on his tip to tip. And I think if you take the widest point of the inside of his main beam, I think he's a good 6 inches outside of his ears on each side. So 12 inches on top of that 22 is going to put this bull at 34 inches inside. And so that gives us a 313. So notice in this upper right-hand corner, it says 313, and then the total down here in the calculator is 313. And I think that's pretty close to what this bull scores. So I'm going to go ahead and upload and share that. But notice that my thumbnail right here, that the rack is cut off. So I'm going to hit this little pencil button, and I'm going to just drag this down, pinch and zoom. So he's in full frame. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to choose my privacy option right here. I'm going to click public. It already defaulted to Montana because the last bull I did was Montana, but right here you can choose United States, and you can scroll, whatever state and unit and county, but I'm just going to say Montana for now. And then I'm going to add a caption, and I'm going to put short fronts bull, and I'm going to put 6 to 7 years old, and I'm going to put what do you think? Okay, and then I'm going to hit OK. So I've got my caption, and next I'm going to share my score. And okay, so you see my thumbnail, there's the bull, here's his score sheet. So this is your first look at the Hornscore score sheet. Obviously it says Montana here. I'm gonna go on down to the bottom. I can share image right here, but I'm gonna go to the bottom, upload to cloud and share. And so what that does is now it's always saved on my phone, but now it's saved in the cloud if something were to happen to my phone. It just takes a brief second here to upload it to the cloud. And then once it uploads to the cloud, then I have a bunch of sharing options. So it's almost finished. Okay, here is the sharing options of this 313 bull. So if I do the top one, share to other Hornscore users, I can search users. So I'm going to send it to Blake Cannon. I'm going to put guess this score Blake, and then I'm gonna hit send. You can see it pulls him up, hit send. So it just sent him a message. I can also click this text score web link, so I can also text this web link to Blake, and it's gonna send him this web link right here. I can also, the lower left, view on web, I can copy link, and that allows me to input that in any place where there's a hyperlink. And then I'm going to click this share image. So a square image, here's the first look, you guys, of the Hornscore scoreboard image that you can upload to Instagram. Notice it's square, so it's set. So share square image. I'm going to save that to my camera roll. I'm going to close. Going to go here. I can also share it as a full, you can see here the full screen. It's not a square. I'm sending this to Blake again. Check out this score. And then there you go. Everything's synced. It's saved to the cloud. And I'm going to upload complete, and it goes back to the main screen. You can see right here in my recent scores, there's a bull. There's another one that I did on a tutorial. And then if I click in the lower right hand corner, that's the public scores. And if you look here, there is the public score that I just entered. If I click on that, it says you are the owner of this score, which I am. And then notice down here by the bull's nose, there's a 3 with a little image there. That is the videos. So when you share with other Hornscore users, they can pull up your and they can use this plus minus or toggle on the bottom and look at all of your uploaded images. You can also see, guys, down on the lower left, that little arrow, that's to share. Go to your share options, or you can hit this thumbs up that you like the video. You can also comment. So you can comment right there. And guys, that gives you kind of a small tutorial on Hornscore and how I broke down this bull. This app is going to release mid-June. And so stay tuned to my Instagram for more information. I've talked about it on my podcast. And we're also going to be sharing a bunch of videos on the Hornscore YouTube channel. So thanks for watching.